Hello, everybody, and welcome to Cleveland Stage Door. My name is Jimmy Davis. Welcome back. It's been a few weeks. It's a little bit of a break right now. We're down to two shows left, and we are on the second from last show. Please welcome my guest this week, Ethan Rogers from Back to the Future. Ethan, welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
It's exciting. This one, I gotta tell you, this one is the one I've been hyping up the most all year round, and I'm excited. I finally got to see it. I saw it in New York. I saw it on the tour. I've been hyping it up like it's nothing. And you play Biff in the show.
That's right.
And let me ask you this: you went from Les Mis to Back to the Future playing Biff. How did you handle that transition? Because that's such a serious show, going in from a serious show into a comedy like that.
Yeah, honestly, it couldn't be any more different. It's even little things like in Les Mis, it's a lot of three-piece suits, and then in Back to the Future, I end in a tracksuit. So, very, very different top to bottom. So, but it's been a real joy. Like getting to do such a wide variety of work has been something that I've been really enjoying.
And you graduated from Bella Wallace College musical theater program. That's exciting. They're another alum that we've had on. That's
yes,
very exciting.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about your role with Biff. You kind of said that you end with the three-piece jumpsuit there. How is it playing such an iconic role like that? That Biff is like one of the iconic roles in the show, and everybody notices it. How is it playing that role?
It's so much fun. I think that it's playing such an iconic character presents its own challenges where there is sort of an expectation for some elements, but I have been able, and me and the creative team together have been sort of crafting my own unique take on the role, which has been a really big joy to figure out and to explore. But don't worry, all the make like a tree and get out of here, all of that kind of stuff is still very much a part of the show. So.
Yes, I agree. It's all the iconic lines are in the show, and I loved it. And it's funny when you read your bio in the playbill, you actually put in there, I'm actually a much nicer person.
Much nicer person. That's the expectation there.
So how did you how do you get yourself in the mood to be such a bully in the show? How do you transition?
That's a great question. I think every actor has their own process. I think for me, it's like I listen to my music in the dressing room while I'm getting ready, and it's also funny starting in 1985 and then going into 1955. So older Biff is, even though they're the same guy, it feels different. I've got like kind of a fat suit on. I've got this hilarious bob wig going on at the very beginning. So that feels like a little bit more silly, which is great and over the top and great. But I think, you just drop in when you're about to enter the stage. And I think one of the strengths of Back to the Future, the musical, is this sort of ebb and flow of heightened elements and then being grounded in reality. And I think that is something that is so the balance that our show strives for and does really, really well. And so I think it's a constant flow in between both of those.
And Biff actually has a song in the show now.
That's right.
So how is it having a new song where it's not familiar from the movie? Obviously, it's new to the musical. How is it for the older audiences who are so used to the music from the movie and to portray into the musical?
Well, Glenn Ballard and Alan Silvestri are both geniuses. They wrote their resumes are both too long for me to recite. They're incredible. They worked together on the original film score and on on our piece. So it feels, all of the new songs feel very, very in the world of the show. There's nothing like jarring about it, I would say. Like they're very much everything makes sense. Everything makes sense for the characters. Everything makes sense for the story. And Teach Him a Lesson is my song in the second act, and it's a lot of fun.
Mhm.
So it's definitely a hoot.
Definitely. And let's talk about this. Has there been a part you're only what 11 shows into the national tour now? You started it here in Cleveland, so
Mhm.
it's about 11, 10 shows now,
Something like that.
something like that. So about 10 shows in, have you broken yet character? Like, have you cracked down from a comedy piece on stage yet?
Not anything that the audience has seen, but I've definitely had some moments for sure.
I think the part, if I were to be you, if I it would probably be the Star Wars reference.
Yeah,
I would lose it.
that's funny. The other moment that cracks me up, and to be fair, it's kind of low stakes for me, but it's like after Biff gets knocked out, I'm like kind of laying on the ground, and then there is a scene that is happening while I'm passed out, and so there's something about that dynamic that is hilarious. Where like I'm on stage, but I'm so not a part of the scene at all, and they're making jokes. Like that's always got to make sure I don't the audience doesn't see my belly going up and down because I'm laughing. So
And your legs are kicked up and everything. Like
oh yes,
how do you hold that pose for so long? Like it's like a
it,
good what 5-6 minutes, isn't it?
it's tough. It's tough, but you either try to not think about it or you try to think about how funny Zambarubi is and how great it is that she's getting a laugh in that moment, and I try to hold that for as long as I can to make sure that the make sure that the laugh gets everything, the joke gets its space and that it deserves. So she's wonderful.
Definitely. I ask everybody this: if there's one song in the show that you wished you could sing, which song would it be?
Gosh, that's a great question. There's so many good songs. I think For the Dreamers in the second act is the
Oh
song
yeah,
that really encapsulates the spirit of our show. And the spirit of Bob Gale, the original writer of the creator of Back to the Future in its entirety. I love that song. Yeah, I think that would be my choice.
I heard I just missed Bob Gale by a day.
Yeah,
He was in town Thursday, and I was at the show Friday. I was like,
hmm
oh, of course.
yeah. But we're getting to work so closely with Bob um, in this whole process has been such a gift, and he's a genius. So being able to work so closely with such a gold mine of information and knowledge and wisdom, and especially with material that he knows so very well, has been amazing.
Absolutely. I got to meet him in New York, so I went opening night for New York.
Oh,
So that was awesome seeing Huey Lewis and all them. That was
yeah.
I had chills. That was so cool. So let me ask you this: when you were on tour with Les Mis, did you come to Cleveland then?
Yes, this is actually my second tour opening in Cleveland, so
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's like a homecoming for me.
That's so exciting. So have you done the Rock Hall?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, of course. So what's one recommendation you've given your cast members for places to eat in Cleveland?
I love Town Hall out in Ohio City.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's a favorite. That always, yeah. I love getting out to Ohio City. I love that part of town. Lindy's Lake House is great. That's another fun one. But yeah, I mean, it's honestly, it's so hard to choose. There's so many great spots in Cleveland.
Have you had Angelo's yet?
No,
It's out by Ohio City, Lakewood area,
awesome,
and
awesome.
it's so good. It's rated one of the best pizza places in Northeast
Oh,
Ohio.
sweet, awesome.
It's so good.
I
Anyway,
love Fathead also. That's another one.
oh yeah, yep,
Out in North Olmsted there. It's great.
so good, so good. All right, back to the show. Back to your touring experience here. So, another question I ask everybody is this: if you could go back to day one yourself, what's one piece of advice you would give yourself about touring?
I think the number one thing is an advice that I give everybody if they're new to touring is you have to make tour fun. I think that touring isn't for everybody, and it can feel kind of unstable in a way of, and what I mean by that is like, you need to be good at having a routine for yourself. You need to be good at, like, I know it doesn't matter where in the country I am. On Tuesdays, I go to the gym, and then I go home and I read my book and I go for a walk, and then I do opening night of the city. You know, you need to be able to have that kind of structure for yourself. But within that structure, you also have to have time to explore the city that you're in and make memories and make friends and all of these things. Because if you don't do that, it's going to feel like a broken record, you know? And I think that's one of the things that's so interesting about the touring lifestyle as an actor, is it's so full of this adventure. And that makes it so, I think, so different from, not that I've done a show in New York, because I haven't, but something that my friends that do shows in New York talk about is like, that's a little bit, it feels a little bit, or it can feel a little bit more like a job, like a little bit more like a day job, because you have your home and you really have your routine. Out here on the road, you know, you have to make a lot of that stuff for yourself. And that's really fun and challenging, and it can be it can create some of the best experiences of your life, but I think you need to be open to that and intentional about having fun and making friends and having new experiences.
Such a great answer. I get so many different answers from so many different people, and it's so great to hear each and every one of them.
Yeah.
Look, here's another question I ask everybody. If there was a life lesson to learn from Back to the Future from after you've seen it, what is that life lesson?
I think that it's, don't give up on your dreams, believe in yourself, and you can change your life, you know, like you are in charge of the choices that you make, and you can make a difference not only in your own story, but in the story of those around you.
Love it. Love it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Ethan, thank you so much for joining us. If you want to see Back to the Future, the musical, it is at Playhouse Square through July 7th. Tickets are on sale now at playhousesquare.org. Here's a special preview thanks to our friends at Back to the Future. Ethan, thank you so much again for joining us. It was such a pleasure.
Yeah.
And here's a special preview. Also, shout out to Baldo Wallace. Like, this is crazy. It's so many alum this year. I probably had 5 or 6 out of the 10 that I've done so far this year have been
Awesome.
Baldo Wallace alumni. So
Jack,
shout out to them. So cool. Ethan, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks so much, Jimmy. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for having me.
Bye-bye.
Great Scott! Good evening. This is Dr. Emmett L. Brown, and this is my time machine.
A time machine?
You're a slacker, McFly. Face it, you've got no future.
I'm gonna get back in time. 1955?
Hey, McFly. I thought I told you never to come in here.
If they don't meet, they won't fall in love, they won't get married, and neither you nor your siblings will ever be born.